If you think it is a high-stress situation sitting with your supervisor with your clothes on, imagine sitting with your supervisor with your clothes off. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in again. It is GEISHA back for another video, so thanks for coming back. If you like what you see so far, hit like, and if you want to become part of the YouTube fan, hit subscribe. So today's topic is going to be my first time in a Japanese onsen, in a Japanese hot spring. So this is going to be quite interesting. I had a very interesting experience going there, and I'd love to share this with you guys, so stay tuned. So a bit of background. There are actually a lot of hot springs in Japan because I think all of the volcanic activity that goes on there. I have known about hot springs for a really long time. I've watched anime, I've watched dramas, and there's always, in every series, there's always one episode or one scene with them in a hot spring, and I had always been interested in going there. And I was like, wow, like, everyone's naked in a bathtub, like that's crazy, that's wild. So when I first started looking into hot springs, I was really nervous because unlike American hot springs, there actually are a couple in Nevada where I'm at right now. People go there in their swimming suits. There's a lot of co-ed ones, but in Japan they are fully nude. So you can't go in with a swimming suit because that's unsanitary. And they are split by gender. So the men go in one and the women go in another. I've always wanted to go in one just because it seemed like it was so cool, right? But what if they don't want to bathe with me? What if they don't want to bathe with me because I'm black? Eventually, I kind of let go of my fears. You know, there's lots of different people. There's probably lots of different body shapes in there anyway. So what does it matter if there's different colors of people? So I'm just gonna go. My old mentality was that it's kind of weird to be in a bath with a bunch of people. It's kind of odd to be nude with a bunch of people you don't know in the same bathwater. Like, I just had all these thoughts in my head. But I finally got to the consensus that it is a very unique part of Japanese culture. I really wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to experience Japan as it really was. And so I was like, you know what? I want to go to a Japanese onsen. I want to go. So I put it on my to-do list for when I went to Japan this past January. You guys are gonna think I'm so weird for this. Before I went, I was super self-conscious. Not just because I was black, but because I was thicker than most Japanese people. I'm taller than most Japanese people. Actually, guys, I was kind of worried that they were gonna judge me. This is like my anxiety talking. That part didn't even matter in hindsight. Like, I really shouldn't have been worrying that much because it wasn't that bad. For a month before I went to Japan, I was like doing crazy sit-ups. Crazy sit-ups. So that when I go to Japan, I didn't have to be nervous about people looking at me in a negative light. So I was doing a ton of workouts, especially abs, like ab workouts. Like, I had a six-pack. I was going there snatched. I was ready. So when I finally got to Japan, we had spent some time in Tokyo, but then we had taken a flight over to Matsuyama, which I had never been to before. It was one of my sensei's hometowns, so I was really excited to go. And if you guys have seen Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away, where Chihiro is running away from No Face, that is the same exact onsen. It's built after Doko Onsen. Throughout that whole period of like flying there, being in the hotel with my friends, I was like, oh, I really want to go to a hot spring, just like planning little Easter eggs here and there. And so our hotel had a hot spring. We didn't actually go to Doko Onsen, unfortunately. One day I will be back and I'll make a vlog about that. We had gone into the hotel onsen. It was, okay, look. So we had gone in, and there's like an interesting etiquette for being in a hot spring that we weren't totally sure about going in. And so there were some Japanese girls in the locker room, and we had asked them. They were really happy that we were able to speak Japanese, you guys. They told us that we had to go to the indoor hot spring first and then go to the outdoor hot spring afterwards, because the indoor hot spring had a bath where you could clean yourself off, because the etiquette for hot springs in general is that you clean yourself off first, all the initial filth off your body, and then you go into the bath. I was with my other foreigner friends. One of them was Korean, one of them was, I think she was Egyptian. The other one was, she was half Japanese, half white. We all went into the bath together, and that was our first time in the bath together. So it was really nice, a very low stress situation because we were all really newbies. So we all went in and we all had a really good time actually. It was really nice. The water was not too hot, not too cold. It was like the perfect temperature to just chill. My friends eventually joined me one by one, and it was just chill. Like, we were all sitting there just like coasting off of each other's thoughts, and it was like super nice. So after a bit, we decided to go to the outdoor bath. We had put our little robes on, and then we had gone upstairs because it was like a rooftop bath. You guys, Kagehashi project is bomb. If you guys ever want to go to Japan, it is amazing. And they pay for everything too, so if you're broke. Anyway, we had gone upstairs to the upstairs bath. Took off all our clothes again. By this time I was cool. And it's so funny because my friends were making jokes about my butt. They were like, oh, look at teacher's butt. And I'm just like, leave my butt alone. Like, what you guys talking about? And it's just like, it was just, we got closer over the whole hot spring thing. Like, I really was able to connect with my friends. It was really new to us. We were just chilling in the bath, and our coordinator came into the hot spring. Our coordinator.
Bruh.
Super nerve-wracking. First we'll be like, oh shit. And she sat next to us. So me and Noella were just like, she was like a junior supervisor, so she was kind of young. She was in her late 20s, and we were just having a conversation, and it was cool. She was asking us questions about where we were from, and what we like to do for fun, and what we hoped to get out of our Japan experience. Our supervisor was like, don't faint, you know, like if you feel tired, don't feel like you have to prove anything. Like, you can go out and like chill for a bit and then come back. It was like midnight by the time we had finally gone back in. Yeah, we said goodnight to our supervisor, and then we had gone back to our room. I really enjoyed my first hot spring experience. I was really worried for no reason because I had a really good time. Everyone was super nice to me. I would gladly go again. If any of you guys are scared about going to a hot spring, scared about being a different ethnicity than everyone else, a skin color, different hair texture, or whatever it may be, I highly suggest going to a hot spring because it's not as scary as it seems. I'm actually really happy I went. That's my first time at a hot spring. If you like this video, then like it. And if you want to see more, then hit subscribe and become part of the YouTube family. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Why is this so hard every time? Okay, look. Trying to get my body like, you know, like snatched. Why? Like, we don't do this in America. We don't do this.